Hey guys, it's Daniel. Welcome back.
When it comes to Kurt Cobain as a performer, one of the things which stood out about him was his willingness to destroy his guitar and the band's equipment in general. The following is a quote from Dave Grohl where he recalls a concert where Kurt did just this and obliterated his guitar. Quote, "I knew all too well what followed when Kurt got irritated. Something was getting destroyed. Whether it would be his guitar, his amp, or my drums, I knew it was coming. The countdown began. After a noisy, technical difficulty-riddled version of our otherwise gentle acoustic song, Polly, Kurt snapped. Turning to his left, he took off his guitar and started smashing the monitor engineer's soundboard to pieces, chopping at it over and over, sending buttons, knobs, and shrapnel flying across the stage. Kurt had had enough. Not just of this show, but of everything that had led up to that night. The weeks and weeks of intensified chaos had finally boiled over, and Kurt's frustration was now being released in a furious display of violent rage. The crowd cheered, delighted as if this was some form of entertainment. If they only knew. This was not an act. This was real. All bets were off now. As I sat behind my drums watching this series of anarchic events unfold before me, all I could think was, where's the emergency exit? This is not something that runs through the minds of most performers, but then again, we weren't most performers. There was no playbook for what was happening to us. This was the Wild West, and the only way to survive was to follow the light at the end of each long dark tunnel." End quote. Now, the following is from Kurt Cobain himself in 1991, where he describes his guitar smashing habit as something that's more just about having fun. Quote, "It's fun. It's something to do. Sometimes we're happy and there's no reason. I have no respect for guitars. I think they're just pieces of wood. I'm not one of those musicians that polishes his guitars and then uses them as a tool to worship. They're just pieces of wood and nothing special for me. Breaking equipment is just too fun. It's part of the act. We did it a lot more a few years ago than we have now. We haven't been doing it very much lately because everyone expects it. We usually just play real cheap equipment, and a lot of the times before a show, we're scrambling for guitar parts and gluing things together just to have a guitar for that night. I don't know. It's just one day at a time. We appreciate beauty just as much as we appreciate violence. I mean, we don't appreciate violence, but, obviously it's an emotion. It's just another part of emotion, negative energy. We like to divide those two, mix them up, make a nice salad.